Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here on Schmoe Me the Money. It's going to be a short week. We only have 3 matches to discuss, so we should be in and out in 30, 45 minutes, so it won't be too long.
In and out quicker than your mother and your father were. What?
I want to apologize to everyone. If you're listening with headphones on, Jeff will be eating throughout this broadcast. So either he's going to mute himself or
I might mute myself for a few bites. Look, it's my fault for not realizing that when I ordered food, that I should have ordered the food about 45 minutes earlier than I did. But, you know, a man's got to eat. So, anyways, why don't we just get right into it? First of all, Buck, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk these Schmoedown matches. We got Goddard versus Khan, Del Rio versus Moran, and McWeenie versus Barbarian. So 3 really good matches.
Yeah, they were.
We'll have something to discuss on that final one for sure. There was some.
Yeah, we got some Schmoedown, and you know, just like this channel, it's always a chicken-based bite. So I'm just trying to get it cut with my fork here before I pick it up, so it's not all messy.
But it doesn't seem to be working very well there for you. So our first match, we had Ben the Bandit Goddard versus King Khan. Goddard, whew, I'm sorry, man, you are not having a good year. Between singles and teams. Way to say it. I'm just stating a fact. He's having a sophomore slump. He's 0-3 so far of matches that have aired. Now, it's not like he's playing poorly. Things just aren't going his way. This match, he got opponent's choice and was slated with movie release dates, which he has stated was not one of his strengths.
Yeah, so. Here's the thing about movie release dates also. Movie release dates is just generally, it could be a very difficult category just because it is so broad and difficult to pin down because it's literally you get the ones that just like what year did this come out, but you also get this weird combination of stuff where it's like you got to know an actor that's not necessarily an actor on the wheel, and also like they had a big movie but then you had like then you have to identify the other movie, like for instance Goddard's Eddie Murphy question. I love Bowfinger, so I knew that answer. I've loved Bowfinger for 20 years, but Bowfinger isn't necessarily like an Eddie Murphy movie that's been canonized in the way Nutty Professor has, or anything else. And we'll get to that. We will definitely get to the Rooster Cogburn discourse. We will add our 2 cents. That's what people come here for. Is what we have to say. But yeah, it's like some of those questions, it can be a little more difficult, and that's exactly it. Yeah, it's no longer just what year did this come out. It's funny because actually, I just watching the FCL match right before this. In the Inner Geekdom one, Keaton Markey just got questions like, what year did Battle of the 5 Armies come out? And that was definitely like that's what a classic question was, but that's exactly it. That's not how we get those questions anymore. They're more complicated, where you still get a well-known title, but in a way where you're not necessarily trying to just get a simple question and answer for it. It's difficult, but I kind of like the way it's evolving too, that category.
Praise to PJ and his staff being able to always update the way that these questions are written now, because I think before, these 3 movies came out what year, or this movie came out in what year, a lot of competitors would do really well with movie release dates. The way that he's updated it and changed it, a lot of competitors, unless you're like Ben Bateman or Brendan Meyer, you're probably not going to want to be picking movie release dates.
I think it was like that one. My favorite movie release date question of the season so far has been I forget which match it was, but it was what year saw the release of a Jaws film, a Star Wars film, a James Bond film, and a Superman film. And
Kelly literally put it in there. Yeah. What year had a movie in these franchises?
Yeah, that one. The one where it's like and it was, and it's not that necessary order. It was like Star Wars was the last one, and then you go down, you're immediately like, oh well, based on all those franchises there, you can already knock out the new trilogy of Star Wars, and you can actually, based on, because of Jaws in this thing here, you can knock out anything that are in the prequels, so it narrows down to 3 movies. Yeah, and Ryan Christensen, it was 83. But it's the fact that you have the way that it breaks it down from James Bond, because that's the widest breadth, and then from James Bond to Superman to Jaws to Star Wars. And that question I find to be, oh yeah, that's exactly it. That's one of my favorite questions of the whole year. Just because of the construction of it, the way that it makes you have to think, but it's taking you on a path where the question itself narrows it down for you. And it's definitely a great way where I'm hopeful it's also affecting the way people are studying too. Because I feel like, study sessions, you should definitely do more than just like, Life and Bowfinger came out in 1999. Yeah. But other than that, I mean, like King Khan, I'm pretty sure he went perfect again, didn't he? Went perfect here.
Let me double check. Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He went
perfect. King Khan going perfect.
Let me pull up his other match. This is easier.
Let me know if my chewing's in the mic, please. I'm eating my chicken. It's from Sarah Bowl, Philly. It's a nice, it's a type of Korean fried chicken with this sweet.
So he did not go
perfect
sauce in his first match, though, but he did do still fairly well. But he's on that path. Yeah, 0-3.
Yeah,
so far.
He has this sort of, the way that I see him is he's so cool, calm, and collected, and just kind of like focusing. It reminds me a lot of, in terms of singles competitors, it reminds me a lot of Collins this year when he first came in. Where Collins was very focused, and he just got the answers, and he was just lethal from day one. And Khan kind of gives off a little more of that energy, although he's a little more playful right now at the beginning. He's wearing the crown. He's giving those like witty retorts back too, but he still has that like reserved sort of. He's focused, and that's the number one thing, is trying to make sure that he accomplishes the task at hand, which is win. It sucks Goddard lost, but I mean, like, Goddard's always fun to watch. He's still obviously a wealth of knowledge. Sometimes things just aren't your way. He got opponent's choice, which, by the way, we've gone through it on here. We've been seeing the stats online. It feels like there have been more opponent's choices, but statistically speaking, there have not been. It's just that we have more matches.
Still very low. Yeah, it just feels like it's happening more, but when you go back and look at it, it's really not happening as much as we think it is. It's just, it seems like it, because
we also have more matches a week right now because since the digital age, and so we've sped up the number of matches, so it feels like more are happening in quick succession, which is a big thing.
Yeah. So the thing is, Goddard, he's not playing bad. Just certain, like in this match, he got opponent's choice. Against JTE, it was he missed his 5. So he's playing well. It's just some things just don't roll his way, and that's
exactly
sometimes what happens.
Missing that 5 is huge, because a 5-point swing is a huge deal now. Yeah, that's Oh, we both clicked at the same time. You go. You do it. I believe in you. There you go.
Yeah.
He deserves a win. Yeah, like that's exactly it. Like everything that I've heard about him is he's yet another player this year that shows that the record doesn't reflect the ability or the quality of competitor that he is. I think pretty much everyone knows how great of a study partner he's been for a lot of people. That he works so hard to help lift up other competitors. And it just sucks that sometimes then once he gets out there, it's just not his day. So
he hasn't won a match, by the way, since since June of last year, his play-in match to the Interkingdom tournament last year. That was his last win. So it's been a while, and again, I'm going to keep saying this. He's playing well, just one thing doesn't go his way.
Look,
So
he's a great competitor that's due for a win.
Yeah, he's going to get it. Yeah, he'll get it eventually. And like Goddard has said, depending on what Saul does at Collision, if Saul wins, Goddard's in the Interkingdom tournament. If Saul loses to Moses, then Saul will be in the Interkingdom tournament.
Which makes sense, just because of the kind of competitor Saul is. Because then, like, if that's the case, then they can have Ben help focus towards singles, and if they want to keep teams going, have that team going, then he could focus on that too. Because the level of study for specifically IG versus singles and teams, they're very different in terms of what you're focusing on. So it makes sense that like it's all like, you know, dependent on what happens at Collision.
Yeah, which I'm so excited for that. I love Collision. It's my second favorite one every year outside. I just like watching so many matches right on top of each other.
Yep.
So that will be a very busy Saturday. No doubt about it. Less than a month.
Mm-hmm.
It is, what is it? 3 weeks from this upcoming Saturday. So it's going to be very, very fun. I think Goddard will get a win. Whether he's in the Geekdom tournament or if he's going to be one of the 4 in the singles tournament, because Christian did announce it's 32, so that's 4 per faction. So I think Goddard will get a win there. So we'll see. We'll see. Moving on to our next match. David Del Rio versus Bam Bam Moran, which I think is one of the most hilarious names. Del Rio used to be on the same faction as Goddard. Gets dropped, and then Kaiser picks him up right away. And Kaiser gets him a match like that. Like within just a couple weeks. And we saw
it was like within a couple days. Oh yeah, he got the match in a couple. Yeah, he picked him up right away. He didn't even know that Del Rio was even an option until he heard that Del Rio dropped. It was it's only because, like, you know, he was paying attention so much to FCL like so many other people were. Just because that's kind of like how this new free agency thing kind of works now, is everyone's so focused on what's available at the FCL.
Yeah. Which right now, today started a new free agency period, by the way. Christian did announce that on a certain point of view yesterday, that the Stars are up first. So we'll see if we see any. We'll see if there's any moves made this free agency period, which I believe this is the last one, and then there's a
one can hope. One can hope that Roxy will. I mean, that's a whole separate thing, I think, to talk about that, which we can give our thoughts on maybe somewhere else, maybe. Although, I mean, by the time it's done, then she'd have already made her decision. One would hope that Roxy would have probably made a decision, only because of, like, the situation her faction is in. She needs something, and she picked up someone last free agency, but the difference was Andreyka retired.
Yeah.
So I think that she needs to make a decision in order to do something, because she's struggling pretty much right now. Even though she has, some good players like Jacoby and Snyder and Janine, for singles and stuff, they're kind of like, they need more. They need something else.
They need to dominate these tournaments. Like they need to dominate all 4 tournaments. Like they need Alex to win the Star Wars tournament. They probably need Hannah, who will probably be their entry for the Intergeekdom tournament.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then singles, they're going to need Snyder to go on another run. They're probably going to put in Jacoby.
Or they can even hopefully see someone like Janine maybe go on a run, because Janine is someone who is just like Goddard or Preston or anyone else. The records do not don't reflect the quality of player. Once again, we keep having this thing where so many different players this year, they're all great and they keep losing by like 1 point. How many players this year are losing because they checked down to multiple choice, or they didn't get the bonus question, something like that? So, but as Del Rio, he came into this 1-3. His record doesn't reflect the kind of player that he is. He wants to play. He wants to play a lot. He's busy, but he's dying to play. He wants to be in. He was very much as soon as he was being considered, and he has a busy schedule. As soon as he was asked, he's like, "Put me in, coach. I'm ready." And this time he showed, like, damn, he got a TKO.
Yeah. Like now, this is so in a span of what, like 3 weeks, gets dropped, gets added, gets a match, and wins by TKO. Not just a normal win. He wins by TKO, gets the dungeon some points there.
Now here's the issue though with that. I have to say, he did great in the questions that he had. It's not that he won that match. It's that Frank Moran lost it. That's how I feel when it comes.
Well, he got opponent's choice. Frank Moran got opponent's choice.
Yeah, that's how I feel about any time there's a TKO or a KO. Like, you answering questions and winning in that case, you just did your job. Okay?
You did what you were supposed to.
The person who got TKO'd and KO'd, they lost. Yeah. We will oh no, I saw it. You had a great conversation about it. You guys had to do what you had to do. Understandable, completely. Just it ended up working out for a lot of people that way, and hopefully Ross ends up working out for you guys too. Just because that'll be interesting to see people from the FCL actually kind of yeah. That's the nicest way to describe what happened.
That's usually what happens with a TKO is one person does what they're supposed to. The other one just doesn't have a good match. It's the only way it happens.
Like, for instance, and I hate to bring it up because I love her. Sabrina Klee did not win her match. Sabrina lost her match.
Yeah, Sabrina did not play well in that match.
So today's FCL match, spoilers if you care about that one there, Kat didn't win that match. Klee lost that match. Or no, not Klee. Oh, everyone with a K in the beginning of the name. Keaton lost that match. Yeah. So it's kind of just that's how I view them there. It's like you got to do your job. If the other person didn't do their job, that's their fault. So and it's funny because like when I see that happen with Saul against the Real Rejects, he has this fire in his belly.
He did it
and
twice.
He's so serious. He did it twice. That's why I said the Real Rejects as opposed to Greg Alba and John Humphrey. But like you could tell, obviously how serious he was and how focused and locked in. But like he knocked them out, and he's mad at himself that he didn't get certain things right anyway. He's focusing on he did his job and how can he do it better. And just talking about people that it's just like John and Greg, it's their own fault that they did the way they did. No, that's actually a Friday night show, unfortunately, or I guess F9. You know what? Come back on Friday. Let's see if we compare people to Pokemon.
Well,
again.
It won't be on this channel. It'll be on Who Are They Real Entertainment's channel.
That's correct. Yeah, that'll be on their channel next time.
So, but Del Rio just shows how good he really he got 3 points in 3 points. Yeah, he got 3 points in steals.
Oh,
so off of Moran, he goes perfect in
Amy.
3
points in
Amy Adams. He goes perfect in Amy Adams. That's
not only that, he went perfect in Amy Adams, and you could tell he wanted Anne Hathaway too, which makes me wonder if he's also a strength in Anne Hathaway. Yeah, basically a little bit. AJ now has a life debt to me. The other thing is, I showed my wife when I was watching earlier the Frank Moran Del Rio match. When Frank Moran gets asked like Anne Hathaway in what fantasy comedy does Anne Hathaway play Ella of something or other, and without hesitation he goes, The Princess Diary, and I just saw her face drop at that.
Yeah, that's the one thing that certain competitors do. They answer too quickly, and we'll get to that in the next match because that's literally what happened there. So, but no, David Del Rio goes perfect. He does miss the bonus.
Yeah, no, they asked like her name was her name Ella. That is true, Chris. We have a new thumbnail. The thumbnail is in fact fire. It's a very nice thumbnail. Look at that, baby. Boom, boom, boom. You're covering
It's
a part
funny
of it.
because the person that makes our thumbnails asked for basically photos from the waist up for us to use. So I sent them to him, and I guess he couldn't make it work, so he did this. And I'm fine with it.
I thought he was just replacing the ones that we already had in the squares because I didn't care.
Yeah. Probably because they're
yeah, the problem is that we're just not attractive enough for thumbnail material. I get it.
It is what it is. But he goes perfect there, misses the bonus, goes perfect with Amy Adams, and Frank Moran misses his 3 of Black Cinema. And he wins via TKO.
Are you saying we need to rewatch all Princess Diaries, meaning we have to rewatch both Princess Diary movies? Or are you saying we need to all rewatch the first Princess Diary movies together, like in a watch-along? Paulina, can you please comment down in the thread and let us know your thoughts? Also, of course, we have a Streamlabs. You can put your answer to the question in there.
Streamlabs.com/Schmoe me the money. If you have any comments about what we've discussed so far, or even what we're about to discuss, because I think we pretty much got wrapped up on this one.
Yeah, no, we're all right. Let's get into it, shall we? Let's get into it.
Drew the Godfather McWeeny versus Craig the Barbarian. Craig played really, really well. Goes perfect up to his 5-pointer. But that's not what we're here to discuss. We're here to discuss the controversy of Drew's 3-point question, which was in the category of Westerns. I don't remember the question, to be honest. What did Clint Eastwood win his only?
No, it was John Wayne won his first. John Wayne won his only Oscar for what movie? And immediately said, "Mr. Cobb." Oh shit! Sorry, True Grit. Because in his head, obviously, he's thinking, what was the role? Because the character's name is Rooster Cogburn, and the sequel to True Grit is called Rooster Cogburn.
Yeah.
The problem that so many have come upon, and it's why it's such a difficult thing to feel about this for me, is he said the answer, and then it was recorded down. 1.9 seconds went by before he corrected himself.
I've heard anything from 1.7 to 1.9. It's more than a second. Like I said, it was a beat. It was not a.
I'm going specifically based off of Amaru's comments in the different threads. Amaru, by the way, awesome guy. Love him. He's great. I will time you out, Mike. I will time you out so fucking fast that you won't even know how to find your own hotel room in Orlando. So I think so. The issue is the rule book. The rule book states you have 1 second to be able to correct yourself. So he had nearly double that time, but then there was the correction time followed by that extra. Oh wait. So between the time of him saying Rooster Cogburn, yeah. So yeah, 1.7. God damn it! It was up on screen. I thought we agreed. I would click think because I'm trigger.
I guess so. Things. You are trigger happy.
I like to bring up people's comments. Has Buck ever corrected himself? You want to correct yourself and what you just called him, man? So I think that the issue is the rulebook says 1 second. The rulebook is also obviously not memorized by everyone. So the ruling Guy made, actually within the reflection of the rulebook, is correct based solely on the language there. The problem then becomes Sam challenges, and then we got Ty Lieberman standing in for Gucci, who, by the way, Ty Lieberman, great competitor, great personality. He brings a great energy. This huge amount of energy and this entertaining personality to the Schmoedown that I really like. But the issue is he wasn't prepared to fight based off of a challenge, and maybe it's because maybe that's actually wine he's drinking and he drank too much for the bit. But also, this is a good example, especially in comparison to when Adam Witt challenged on behalf of Ben recently, that a player standing in for a manager as a pseudo manager, you have to pick them out carefully because it's a different skill set than just playing the match. You have to be able to actually argue on behalf of people if there's a challenge to be made. And the problem was Ty just was like, I don't know. He said it wrong, so it was wrong. Like, I don't know. Barbarian, do you want to speak on my behalf?
On my behalf.
Craig was just like, Craig just kind of like shrugged his shoulders. Like, I mean, the correction is that he said the wrong answer. Then he corrected himself. They didn't go, if they had any kind of like, if they had more of a knowledge, because like everyone, a lot of the players have obviously probably read the rule book, but the problem is
now, yeah,
a lot of the issues lie in there's some stuff in the rule book that's very, I guess, nebulous. There are various areas in the rule book that, at least when I read them, it feels like this is the rule, except in certain circumstances, and it'll be left up to the judges at the time. So that's the problem that I find it in, is that the rebuttal didn't bring up the rule book, and they didn't. That's a big thing. Is would Gucci have been able to counter better? I don't know. I don't know the answer because I know what his mindset was when he didn't challenge I Am Robot. I don't know what he would have done there, because it's difficult because the rulebook clearly states something, but it's very. The problem is you don't have the ability to stop and go back because they're not doing stuff like recording it and allowing it to stay in like a StreamYard and then onto like a private YouTube thing, and then they can just pause their filming and like let it kind of stream, and then you can just kind of click back on the live feed and check it out yourself again and again and again, do like a Zapruder tape review. But at the same time, I mean, Guy knew what he was doing there when he.
A lot of people were going after Guy because he waited so long. I'm like, you guys, in round 3, that's what they do for the questions, is they give the dramatic pause.
The biggest issue, also, or another big issue,
Guy ruled it correctly.
Clearly states he ruled it correctly. Yes. One thing that one thing though that the rulebook says is you don't have to say final answer. So the justification of the ruling goes in direct contrast to what it says in the ruling. Yeah. Or the justification of the ruling goes in direct contrast to the language in the rulebook. Now, the 1 second thing, that I kind of get a little bit just because they're in the moment. But the justification of the ruling goes in direct contrast to what the language is in the rulebook. The rulebook states that you don't have to say final answer. There's no expectation that you say that to make it your final answer. But then it happens to be the final answer, and then they say, well, he didn't say final answer, and then he did correct himself. Their justification ended up pointing out two issues. It went against 2 separate rules in the rule book in the end. The over 1 second rule, which I get, I understand, and I kind of am okay with a bit because of how it works in the moment type deal, because there's only so much that can go, because you have 1 second could feel like an eternity and 1 second can also be like that. A human error is, you can allow for human error, but then you have it recorded in there, plus also final answer is not a thing, and then giving that as a reason. I think that it was fine for Sam to challenge. I think that what fucked it all up was that the exchange wasn't able to do a better job to... Yeah, they weren't prepared enough to actually push and rebut properly. So, and look, it's a lot to deal with for someone as new to the Schmoedown who yes, he's very smart, Ty Lieberman, but it's just not, it's a different wheelhouse sometimes doing that stuff with being a manager versus actually playing than playing in the match.
Ty is a great competitor and a great personality, but there are different skill sets needed between competing and being a manager.
Correct. And as we all saw, that I think one thing that I thought was a little surprising, though, was we have someone who supposedly is the author of the dossier, the man who's been studying up on everything, the barbarian, and then he couldn't really help assist in that rebuttal. That was a little more stressful, I think, to me, was that he wasn't able to push further. And I know that he said today on Backstage the reasoning why I wasn't able to catch it because, it was in the middle of the day. But I think the rebuttal is what really messed with them.
I just don't know if that would have made that much of a difference. That
it would have, yeah.
That if Ty or Craig would have been able to give a better rebuttal from their side, I think
if any of them were to have simply cited the rule book, it would have gone in their favor. That's the issue, I think. They just had to have cited the rule book. The rule book wasn't even under discussion with this.
Yeah. So
it has
the reason
to be a matter
was
about what's available.
Yeah. From what Craig said on Backstage, which is they literally filmed the Goddard and King Khan match like right before this. Something came up for Gucci and he couldn't be there. And Roca or JTE were not available. So they're two non-rookie. Everyone else on that faction is basically a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
They have 3 non-rookies, I believe. You have Roca, JTE, and Taylor Robinson. I believe everybody else is classified as a rookie. And you could say Taylor Robinson is a rookie because she hadn't been in since season 5. I think. It was season 4, season 5.
And she did not play very much then.
No, she had like 2 matches, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the downside of them having all these amazing rookies that when they need a backup manager, usually they would go with the Barbarian. It was his match.
Then they would probably go with Roca. He was unavailable.
Go with JTE. Was unavailable.
Correct. Well. I wouldn't just say IG is a reason to not be a manager. Australia, I get it. Witt does a lot of stuff. He's able to kind of step in because he's kind of an all-division player. But you can be a manager at least to be able to challenge based on rules.
If you know the rules.
So, like Witt's challenge had nothing to do with the fact that it was singles, teams, or Star Wars. His challenge had to do with personal experience because he's older. So
this was never confirmed. This was never confirmed, by the way. This was just rumored. I think that Christian was thrown around there. It
was something he wanted to do, and I think that everyone pushed back. So it was never made it was never canonized. It was never made official.
But McWeeny ends up with the win because Craig cannot pull his 5-pointer.
Yep. Which, I mean, hey, it's difficult. I have never seen Newsies. I thought it was a late 80s movie.
I watched Newsies all the time. I knew it right away. I watched that movie all the time when I was a kid. So I knew that one right away. As soon as he said Santa Fe, I was like, oh, it's Newsies. But Craig, I think, said on Backstage that he was considering Newsies. So he was probably going to get there. I think he was probably a little flustered from the challenge. Still.
Yeah, don't ever assume. That's when you make an ass out of you and you.
I mean, you and you. But I'm kind of hoping that this discussion dies down after this week, because it's what are you gonna do?
It will, because there was brief controversy over the Ben challenge, and then there's been brief controversy over this challenge and that challenge, and then next week let's all complain about something else.
We have 4 more matches this week that are to air. I think we're going to have something else to talk about. Because we have... the schedule. Everyone be prepared that the matches on the schedule may not be the matches that end up airing.
Yeah. Which some of it has to do with life stuff. Some of it has to do with the fact that this time around, because Christian wants to do stuff live, he's not necessarily, and also Christian's own personal ability to film and certain stuff might be probably different. And as a showrunner, he's going to want to be involved in things, and the way filming works now for people has changed. So the availability has changed, which means that schedules are going to change. So it's going to be a little messy, but we'll see. Hi, Jake.
The amazing bar tab, Jake Yakavetta. Thanks, Jake, for stopping by. Appreciate it as always, my man. But no, we have the pay-per-view. I'm really excited for those 2 teams matches. I think there's going to be some fantastic
I am
teams.
absolutely excited for at least one of them. No, I'm excited about them. I think that it's going to be really good. I mean, we got great teams all around. Well,
yeah. I think what's going to happen is the winner of both those matches will play each other, and then the winner of that will play Danger Zone. I feel like that's what's going to happen. And that will be... And then the winner of that probably plays the winner of whoever wins that collision.
So you're saying Danger Zone, which just lost a number 1 contender match, is about to get another number 1 contender match?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think, why is Danger Zone not in this gauntlet? This little mini tournament they're doing here.
Because they just lost. They just lost the number 1 contender match. So they have other teams that are going into the gauntlet, and this gauntlet now of all these different teams playing are every single team, I think, from that gauntlet, except for a dungeon one.
Kelly agrees with me. It may not be a number 1 contender match then. It might just be whoever wins that one then goes back to a number 1. So if Danger Zone wins the winner of the mini tournament, then they go into a number 1 contender against, I don't know, at this time. So.
But we'll see. We'll see how that works, because all these mini gauntlet things are kind of like all sorts of fucked.
Yeah, mini tournaments.
Because we don't even know where what Stars is doing now for a team. We don't which team they're actually going to do. We don't know what Dungeon would do if they were thrown into being part of that gauntlet there. We noticed that it's final exam and not midterms. And Paul still has that that thing in his back pocket. The challenge in his back pocket.
I personally think he should use it for singles.
I agree.
Because Lon is so hit and miss for me that I don't know why he would use it for teams when Lon... The thing with Lon can look like a top-tier player, and then he can look like a mid-tier player. It just depends on the match.
I just don't think Lon is going to help Paul eke out a victory against Deception.
I don't think so either. So, but but no, that will be very exciting on Friday.
Fair.
Then next week, I don't know what I know we have matches on the schedule.
We have no idea.
Yeah, so I'm gonna wait to see what actually drops before
so we want to do these. We want to get back into doing panels. We've been very busy with just our own job and life.
I cringe every time I hear the name Paul.
Well, you reap what you sow. But we want to get back into doing panels again, but we want to be able to schedule people in advance to be able to talk about this. But we don't even know. We like to try to get people to be able to talk about stuff they might be more familiar with. Excuse me. And not even knowing really what's ahead makes it a little more difficult. So we're gonna take it day by day. to see now that we kind of are feeling just a little bit more motivated to get back out to trying to reach out to people. Like at the very least, maybe we'll get like, one-on-ones or something, or, we'll reach out to people to even do, I don't know, some sort of like interview. We need to just start talking to people again. We've been every time that we reach out to people, it's just like for them to come and hang out on our Friday stuff. So we got to get back to it. It's just, it's life gets busy sometimes for the middle of the work week.
So, but everyone, thanks for tuning in today. We had a pretty steady audience today talking these 3 matches. It was very fun.
Thank you very much.
It was there was a lot of controversy. So make sure.
Yes.
Do we have anything? Oh, we don't have a thumbnail for it yet, but most likely on Saturday we will be doing a Black Widow review discussion because that does come out on Friday.
So we will all see that.
Yes. I plan on seeing that Thursday night.
I don't know when I'm seeing it, but I'll see it before Saturday.
So we have that. I don't think we have... Oh, we do have... Hold on. I forgot to load it in. Tomorrow, episode 5 of Loki, we will have at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. It will just be me, Dan, Kelsey, and the Montyverse will be joining us again. Jeff has prior commitments.
My mom is coming into town and wants to go to dinner.
I didn't want to say it. It was your thing. So I was like, I'm not going to say why. I'll let him do it. So we'll have that tomorrow, 4:30 Pacific. Should be fun as always. Last week's episode was fantastic. So.
Get our Airbud logo done, Jake.
Is he making your Airbud logo?
End the fucking show, Buck. End it. End it.
All right, everyone. Until next time.